Hi, everybody. Welcome to the QB School. I am JT O'Sullivan. Today, Shedeur Sanders, preseason week 1. You are fired up for this one. Let's get it going. Welcome to the QB School. Before we dive into the video, a quick reminder about the Quarterback School Patreon community. This group is the foundation, the bedrock of the channel. Not only is it a great, inexpensive way to support the channel, but you get even more Quarterback School content. So you dig these kind of videos, you will love the Quarterback School Patreon community. Hop over there. I appreciate your support. As for this video, let's get into it. Shedeur Sanders, preseason week 1, starting as a rookie. Come out a little hot and high here on the slant. Lots to talk through here on this play. A number of things that are not my favorite type of football. I classify this as a PSO, the way that this thing is usually played out. Now, is that a catchable throw? Probably. First here, what's going on? When I say PSO, I just mean pass screen option. Now, they might classify it a different way, but to me here, the pass is the slant. We'll talk about that route. And then here's the screen. So probably if you don't like this, you'd come over here and throw the screen. I would imagine that's how it would work. It would be really hard to do this as an SPO. Route-wise here, not my favorite route. Kind of a crummy stem here, whatever this is, just choppy chop, and then we stumble out. And, could we catch the ball? Sure. I would prefer this to look like a go route for 3 hard steps, maybe even more, and then break this thing flat with a little bit more separation. So the route, not my favorite. It also helps, we had some, I would classify this as some poor, maybe some Colorado Buffalo-ish guard play in this game. But once the wheel moves over, you see the backer up top move and get any part of that hash of the ball, you have that slant. Now, the other thing I would say here, and again, I'm not in their quarterback room. I don't know exactly how they're teaching this, but watch 32 move. So once you see him move, that slant window is going to be good. My thing here is in whatever, I don't know what they're asking him to do, but it looks like he holds his eyes here, almost like he's trying to hide this. Once this guy's in the A gap or the opposite A gap here, once he gets any part of the ball, this is just a huge natural lane. You might want to hold your eyes there to hold a safety or hold, coverage, but you don't want to look this way and then come back and look and try to find a slant. That's unnecessarily difficult. And then this ball's just high. So see him kind of glance to our right there. And maybe he's saying, I'm looking that off. All right, whatever. If you want to be a Jedi quarterback, knock yourself out, but you got to be able to come back and throw a slant. So could he catch that ball? Yes. Could we make a better ball on the body where he doesn't have to extend? Yes. Okay. In addition, my guys 67 and 74 are dangered. They're danger zones out there, like cones getting pushed back. Hard to throw when you got a lot of turquoise in your lap. Next one here, 3rd down. This is a bummer because this is a little spot or snag up top. I think Shedeur plays it perfectly, does everything except be the wide receiver and get enough depth for the 1st down. So it's one of those things where you look at the drive, completion, 3rd down, you're doing exactly what you're being asked to do. It's a nice, easy throw, put it right on him. Excellent job. Well timed out. Everything except the depth. And again, as I'm adjusting to the new film situation, don't get a chance to see the scoreboard, but this is 3rd and medium-ish. This to me is that little spot or snag route, almost always paired with a corner or a 7, and then add an empty with the flat. And so as you run this spot or snag here, he's got to be aware of where the sticks are. If the sticks are right here, you got to come back and get your feet past the sticks. It's just unacceptable, poor preseason, I'm going to struggle to get on the field type of route. Lack of awareness. Can't happen. Cannot happen. And then in the preseason, wouldn't mind seeing them go for it there. The Fighting Ujeros, I'm not sure they could stop it or anybody could stop it 4th and short like that. Be easier too if you just caught it once. But from Shedeur, pretty good. Next one here, beautifully executed, called screen. Just a little halfback screen up top to the boundary. Catch right into a pressure from depth. Just a beautiful job. I keep saying this in the preseason films, but screens are young quarterbacks' best friends, especially in the preseason. They're easy, nice rhythm catches. It's really well done from the back, and the interior offensive lineman getting out. Both of them get guys covered up. The coaching point that usually comes up in these types of things is, do you tell the back to put hands on or just kind of bluff and go? And I really think it matters where the pressure is coming from. So if the pressure is coming from depth, you can come up here, come up like you're going to do your normal pass pro, bluff, and get right into it. If he's coming from the line of scrimmage, meaning right here, you got to come in there and almost like shoulder him and chip him. He can't get a free run to the quarterback through the B gap like this. So the timing of this thing plays out really well. And then I think we get two big guys out. Both of them get blocks on. And the reason it's so much space over there is because that backer has vacated that area with the pressure. So well executed. Nice job from Shedeur. Make the easy plays look easy. Don't miss layups. Well done. Again, really, really like the call. I don't think you can call enough screens in these preseason games. Gets the ball into your playmaker's hands, alleviates some pressure up front. Nice job from the center getting out. Backside 74. That's as good as he'll look all day. Easy completion. We are rolling. Next one here, little all go special. We're going to throw the go up top. I don't necessarily think this is a terrible throw. I think you could make the argument that there could be a penalty on Carolina, the Fighting Nigeros on the back end here. I will say this, and again, it's easy for me, days later with a clicker and film and not standing in the pocket. But I think of 4 verticals or all go special here at a 3x1 as essentially a glorified screen. So there's that special, here's the seam, and then we've got double goes on the outside. So if he loves this matchup, and I couldn't tell you who either of these dudes are and don't really care, but if you love that matchup and this safety is whatever, poaching here or hanging down here, and this is just one-on-one right here, I love taking a look at it. My thing about it is you can't predetermine that you're going to throw it. So as he goes, and we're right in our hip pocket right there, and he's getting squeezed to the sideline, it's not a great throw. Just come down here and throw the check down. Again, I think of this, and I think I stole this from the Bull, Brad Johnson. 75% of all go or all go special is a check down. Just throw the check down. Rip the seam, throw the go if you love it, if you got it. But forcing these, especially in the preseason. Now again, maybe that's his dude. Maybe he loves that matchup. Well, that route sucks, and he's getting pushed into the Gatorade there. So, when he makes that decision to throw it, I would say that's not open. If anything, that says throw back shoulder. So we force it, throw, a borderline never in history ball. That ball lands out of bounds. Maybe it can be caught in bounds, but there's not a lot of space there. So if you don't like it, now play it out with it. If I don't like it, get it to the check down. So 1, 2, 3, no, check down. It's not going to be a huge play, but it's going to be better than that. So it's just the decision making, not predetermining where it's going to go. And again, I know it's easy to sit here with clicker and pen and say that, but again, just watch the tempo of it. 1, 2, 3, don't like it, back. And it's there, and it's easy completion. Next one here, 3rd and longish. Okay, we're in empty 3x2. We're running double stick to the bottom, dragging up top. We end up using our feet, getting the first down. That is outstanding. I love the idea of using your feet, showcasing that he's got a little bit, might not be the fastest guy in the world, but a little bit of, I can use my feet, move the chains, get down, protect yourself, make a good decision. Okay, check your watch, whatever. What I don't love is just the fact that the ball's not coming out where it looks like it probably should. So this is the double stick part of it. It's usually a quick out by the 2, must outside release go by the 1, and a stick here. And then up top, the dragon part of it is a slant and a flat. Now it's 3rd and forever. This play call kind of sucks. Like, we don't have a whole lot of options here. This is really a glorified clear. Maybe this gets you a first down. Now I will say double stick dragon is usually played open, closed. Okay, so as soon as they close it, you're going to work the slant, flat. Well, do you love throwing flats for 2 yards and 3rd and long? No. Is it wide open here? Yeah, just throw it. You don't know that you can get it you don't know you're going to scramble with it with your feet. So the outcome is fine. The process to me is it's questionable. So they go to closed right there. You can see the flat up top. we're already scrambling. Why are we running? We're not hot. There's no reason, there's no L immediately. Just throw the flag. Catch it, throw the flag. Let's say the way that I'm telling you to read it is wrong. Okay, then come down here and throw the stick if they read it differently. I don't care. But to think you're going to be able to do that all the time, I just don't believe in it. I don't think it's going to be able to happen. It works right here. Use your legs. We can find some positives in it. But again, why is he bailing? What is telling us to leave here? It's 5-on-5. Take your drop. Throw the ball. He leaves. He's lucky that we're working on a defensive tackle or a shade here on the edge who loses contain, and we got him. Okay, great. First down, on to the next. All right, next one here. Big play action fake. Looks like we're working the curl at the bottom of the screen. Not my favorite route. Nice job by him being able to get out, extend, and we miss probably not a wide open layup, but an open-ish, a simple-ish throw. We make it look more difficult than it probably is. It's not there. We got to go. Nice escapability. But right here, yeah, 32 is in your face. But we're throwing it to someone who's, there's not anyone around for 10 yards. We can't hook it up. So first thing here is acknowledging the fact that it's a nice job escaping. Now, what's going on here route-wise? I can't tell you. I don't know what's going on here. This is a route to say, tell us what the weather's like in Canada here pretty soon, because this is tight. Like we've got to be able to create more separation at the top. If it's true double curl, like deep double curl, some teams will let you go 1 to 2. Other teams will say pick a side, go from here to the check down to the back. I've played it both ways. I think it's easy when you're watching film to say, oh, you don't like this one, come back, flip your hips, and throw back to the other curl might be open as like a 1 to 2. I'm not sure how realistic that is. What I am going to say is I have no problem with the decision not to throw this, but once we get out, and I think it's to the back, once we get out here and we're creating on the edge, this is a throw I think he would expect to make of himself. And I think we should expect, an NFL quarterback, I don't care if you're the starter, backup, to be able to get out and have this type of flip. So look at the separation at the top of this route. At the bottom, there's just nothing. Up top, it's a little bit better route, better top, better separation. Just unfortunate which side we picked, probably. Nice job getting out of there. Okay. 74 is dangerous back there. But again, flip your hips. Even not flipping your hips, just running downhill here. This is a throw we could make. There's no one around him by 10 plus yards. You could throw it left-handed and probably hook that up. Okay, doesn't mean it's easy. Okay, pass pro is an issue in the preseason. There's just no way around it. And these guards are struggled. They were on the struggle bus every one of Sanders' reps. And there's just no easy way to say it. The other thing here from the back here, if the back sees this much color and tries to put him back on the guard, so watch the back come up. He gets into the ribs of 94. He's got to stay there. He can't get off and get into his route. You got to chip and put him back on the offensive lineman until he takes it over. We can't just it's not like a quick double team up to the next level, go run your route. Now, nice job from Sanders escaping everything except the throw. Next one here, 3-by-1. Little triple slant down here to the bottom. We're going to work the number 2. It's a great call versus this leverage. The Fighting Nigeros do a good job of rallying into this thing, not letting us get the first down, but this is well done from a Browns execution, quarterback Shedeur standpoint. Do I think it could be a better throw, like a precise throw that makes it a little bit easier on the slant? Sure. Is he going to get a first down with a better throw? I don't know. Probably not. So it's one of those things, certainly good enough here. Now I'm used to calling this type of defense lurk or 11 lurk. So at the snap of this thing, what I consider triple slant is like a 1-step dart-ish, a traditional slant, and then like a 5-step or 5-yard in. And you just read that thing inside out. And most often the ball is going to go here. If you catch lurk, so this weak safety coming down, strong safety getting to the middle, you're probably always going to get outside leverage. I also like the condensed-ish split here. So you get outside leverage by the nickel or the star. So as this thing plays out, we're watching that nickel star defender right here. Watch the leverage he has on the slant. he's trying to maintain outside leverage. We're running back into this place that's been vacated. Does he have to jump there? Probably not. I mean, the ball's right up on his face. Well done from Sanders. Good execution. Just can't get the first down on 3rd and forever with a slant very often. From the back here, I'm just make the assumption that this is how they're teaching him to do the footwork. I don't think you're not allowed to do the footwork yourself. He's always been what I would classify as got a little drift to his game in the pocket movement element. You don't really want to throw over the guard very often in quick game, especially with 67 and 74 in there. But that's a nice job. Put it on him, give him a chance. On to the next. So the very next one here, 4th down, empty 3x2. It looks like they're running shock to the bottom and like a little choice up top. This is not a great look. Full retreat backwards. I don't know if they call grounding here, but it certainly didn't look like he got out of the tackle box. I don't know if there's like a roof to the tackle box that he escaped from, but that is a bad look. Again, I think, on a play like that, you're slowly learning how much faster everyone is than you on the field. Concept-wise here for me, I'll call this shock. So stick, inside fade, probably a locked hitch. Up top, this is probably a must outside release go, not a great drawing. And then a little choice here. I would say universally, this play would be most often read closed open. Is it a great play versus this with this guy over the top of the inside fade? Hell no, it just isn't. They got you. Jero gets lucky too. So it's one of those things where bummer. You add in the fact that our left guard can't complete the slide, and now we're in full retreat, running backwards. It's a bad look. Especially on 4th down where you got to get a throw off. So again, this is not a guard school, but it's not me making excuses. It's 74 not knowing what the he's doing. Look at his feet. Well, come on, bro. This is NFL football. Not for long, homie. Oh my God. Retreat backwards. Oh my God. Oh my God. 4th down. Oh my God. All right, next one here. Nice little easy completion to the tight end going in motion. I'm used to calling this a little pivot or pivot gather with a little wrap in. This is a nice job getting the ball out of your hand quickly. Again, 74 over here cutting himself mid-video for us. But it's a nice job from Shedeur taking what's there. Is it an impressive throw? No, right? But he puts his foot in the ground. He knows where it's going. You see this play all over the place. It's also an excellent preseason play, in my opinion, because it's so simple as far as here's that little pivot. Here's what I'm used to calling a wrap in. Okay, it's not really a squared in. It's more speed rounded in there. And really, you're reading this inside backer most often. Now, he pressures here, so it makes it even easier. If that's not there, I like it how they're running it with this little loop or return back on the other side. So it's really kind of a high-low there on the second level play side linebacker, back over to this loop return on the other side. And again, you might, get a chuckle out of me making fun of the guard play, but this is the reality in preseason. You just got dudes in there that hopefully don't have to play a lot of meaningful snaps in the game blocking all the time. And you can get these essentially, rush on air looks. That looks like a fucking get off drill for 97. Foot in the ground, ball out. If let's pretend 49 doesn't blitz. So say he hangs here and drives the pivot. That's when you would rip that wrap right behind it. Boom, ball on the ground, out. Great, completion, let's go. Next one here, a little quick or now screen to the guy going in motion up top. Nice call here, away from pressure. It's a TFL. Shedeur's not blocking anybody. He does a nice job here, catch, throw, put it on the upfield shoulder. They do a nice job rallying to the ball. We can't get out there and block the alley, and it ends up being a nothing burger TFL. But again, I personally continue to say, I love the fact that get the ball out of your hand in the preseason, get a completion, all those things we've seen from Shedeur for a long time. He can rip it at the line of scrimmage. So ball out, quick, easy, catchable, batting practice ball. Let's go. Next one here, 3rd and medium-ish. We're going to try to hit the guy going in motion on what Shedeur looks like he thinks is going to be a flat. There's certainly a miscommunication, whether that's on 87 or that's on Shedeur. Only those guys in the building know for sure. I will tell you that not the execution that we're looking for, certainly, but an understatement. Again, philosophically here, let's see if we can see exactly where the first down marker is. The first down marker is the 48. So, I think when you're talking about quarterback play, you have to at least acknowledge, what's being asked here. So if this is a flat or a quick out, and it's going to be there, it's the quarterback's job to throw it. Now, we've obviously got to run the right route. If he runs the wrong route, that's on him. If Shedeur throws the wrong route, that's on Shedeur. We don't know. But even if we catch this, we've got to get to the 48. I just, philosophically, it's not for me. It's just, I'm not a never throw behind the sticks guy, but I don't want to be running sideways at 2 yards either. Okay, if that wasn't there, I think on the backside, we get one of these guys running an in, one of these guys running like a little pivot. So, you probably come back and work this in. Just one of those things where, execution, not on the same page. Is it only the quarterback's fault? Is it the quarterback's fault at all? I don't know. But it's not a good look on film. That's certainly it. We'll always hedge on blaming the wide receiver or tight end. But even if you catch it there, you're probably punting still. Next one here, first of 2 touchdown passes. Now, this throw here is very nice as he moves to his left, a little naked with the slide or sneak flat. Now, is this a throw I think you want to make a lot or all the time? Probably not. But does it work out right here? Is it very impressive? Yes. It's a nice job hooking it to where, throwing it to where only his guy can. That is a tight window, y'all. That is a tight window. Okay, now, why is it so tight? There's a few different reasons. And as long as he thinks he knows he can fit it in there, good for him. The first thing here is where we end up getting the touchdown here on this little corner. He comes up, he gets collisioned. So this kind of slows this down. That's the first part that muddies it up. The next part here is as we come across on this sneak or slide flat, this guy he's got a flat here. I prefer this play. He stays on the flat, and then when he gets close to the side hash, he turns up and then comes back to give you a little outlet. What I don't like, and what I've seen cause interceptions in the past, is this flat drifts up the field. And when it drifts up the field, whoever's guarding this guy drifts with it. And that's why this throw is so close, because he drifts up the field. The other part here, and I guess it's a nice play down here. Not a whole lot of teams allow this to get over here. And if it's muddy, to just stop like this. Like, I think of this as a very Kelsey-ish kind of move. And when it works, it's great. When you throw a pick to the backside defender, it's not great. So there's a lot of things going Shedeur's way. It doesn't mean that it's not a great throw, okay? Don't flip the hell out. It's a great throw, but first let's watch that sneak or slide flat. Watch 80 drift right there. See him drifting towards the goal line? That allows this defender to drift with him. So he's drifting. He's getting into the corner lane because he's drifting. So that's the first little nuanced detail part of not staying flat. Now watch the over back here to the bottom. He's going to come across, and then he's going to stop. So maybe if they feel the safety cut here, they're allowed to do this. That's dangerous to me, man. I would not want the backside overdoing that. Now watch the corner who gets the touchdown. Down the field, he's going to get collision the corner who doesn't move. And Shedeur makes a nice throw in a tight window. Tight. Now, ball handling wise, I would say under center, let's make sure our offhand is on our core. So as we extend, offhand on the core. See his right arm hanging out there. Everybody knows that the ball's not in that hand. Just more polished ball handling. He does it better going the other way later in the game. But get out on the edge, buy some time, see the corner, fit it in there. Whoo, baby. Next one here, second and forever. I have no idea what this concept is up top. In fact, I would bet a lot of money that one of these guys is in the wrong. Probably the guy he throws it to is in the wrong. One of those things that's always weird when you throw it to the guy who runs the wrong route and reward him for making the bad decision. You can see, I'm not a Browns fan or aficionado, but whoever this coach is right here, he looks like he's a little perplexed as to what the hell happened on the perimeter and why that guy or what we're doing out there. Hands out, palms out. All right, whatever. We'll take it. If I had to guess, I would say this play is supposed to be double stick dragon. We've already seen it. So this would be a must outside release go. Here's that quick out. Here's that little stick. And it's paired with dragon on the backside. We've already seen this version of it. It would be weird to run dragon inside fade or shock up top, just because they're both, I think to most football people, both closed concepts. So whatever. Second and long, get a completion. Outside the numbers. You like throwing hitches. Do you? Catch it. One step, ball out. Drive it outside the numbers. Nice fastball velocity. This guy, when you throw it to the guy who runs the wrong route, you better be right. Next one here, we're going to work that triple slant again. Now, there's a penalty on this, and I tried to find what the penalty was. I didn't care that much to go back and look at the notes, but this is a hell of a catch from 37. This reminded me of my guy, Steve Gleason, back in the day running the scout team for the Saints, on the body, on the break, making plays in the dirty 37. He had some nice catches in this game. Probably not the best throw in the world. Does Shedeur think that 37 is going to throttle here? Maybe. I doubt it. You don't see that a lot in triple slant. So again, how many times we've already seen this once in this game. Here's that inside slant or dart. Here's that number 2 slant, and it's almost always paired with this in on the backside. And again, dialed up perfectly with a little bit of pressure where it's going to vacate this. We got this guy coming down from the heavens. This is made to order. Some of these slants you would think would be easier throws, and every one looks a little bit harder than it should be. Again, not easy to play offensive line or quarterback in the preseason because you got guys like whatever who knows, is this on the right tackle? Is this on the right guard? Is the back doing his own thing? It looks like the center originally goes out to 41 and then brings it back to 57 here. So to me, the guard and right tackle should be out. If that's the case, well, hard to know for sure. It looks like the right guard screws us, if I had to guess here, because the right tackle's going out. Either way, we can make a better throw. Too many missed slants. Just looking at we can only make so many, 37 can only make so many circus catches. Next one here, this is probably my favorite throw from Shedeur in this game, down here to this little in at the bottom. Not really a little, it's a big in. It's really well done. Takes us some time. We got to let this thing develop. Big 5-step gun drop. Still got to move a little bit to our right. Put your foot in the ground and rip that thing down the field. Now, it helps that the corner falls, but still, this is a very nice play. Whether you classify this as dagger or hammer, it really doesn't matter. To me, this is that press. We've got to get in there and run that deep in. So up and get into that thing. And the reason I call it a hammer is because we've got this little route underneath it. But if you get any sort of, paired with a post or a clear, a lot of people will call that dagger as well. But this is a really nice job taking a big 5. Again, another L at the guard position. We got to move, put our foot in the ground, and drive the ball with, dare I say, some anticipation-ish. Not really true anticipation because we got to move off the time, and it's not really timed up. But when he goes to throw that thing right there, lowercase a maybe, small font. Let's give it small font. Small enough to read, though. We'll go like 8. It's an impressive throw, though. Driving it down the field, taking a big shot. This is an impressive throw. This is the type of throw where you're like, oh, yeah, okay, this is Sunday-ish. Now, again, left guard. Another new left guard. Jesus, that's a lot of blue. Drive it down the field. Hell yeah. Well done, Sanders. Halftime. You dig the channel and you haven't already, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, get the notifications. I sincerely appreciate you subscribing to the channel. It does mean a lot to me. So thank you for taking the time and doing that. Again, the Quarterback School Patreon community, you know about it. Join, become a member, get even more Quarterback School content. We also have Quarterback School courses. You can check out the courses over at the Quarterback School website. Also, and finally, make sure to follow me across all social media platforms. I appreciate your support. As for this video, let's get back into it. Next one here, a little naked keeper, this time coming towards us at the bottom of the screen. Better ball handling here. Nothing there. Nice little old man pump fakes. Get up, maybe protect yourself a little bit better. I know he loves his little watch celebration here, but just protect yourself, get up, get back to the huddle. Not every run deserves a, watch celly. Again, and, you be the judge. To me, this is a little bit of an awkward landing. Keep your feet going, protect yourself. That's celebrations crack me up. Better ball handling too. I feel like the offhand was on the core. This play is almost always read out here, down here to the flat, to the bottom, to the number one. See the corner, backside over to that little late or bang flat to the tight end. None of it's there. He does a nice job getting a positive play, using his legs, getting right up to the first down. Again, just being careful of, watch that offhand. So this time it'll be his left hand. See it on its core there. A little bit better. Not fully polished, but better. Come around there, have a plan for the worst case scenario. Pump fake, shovel fake, protect yourself. Next one here, that same PSO we started this video off with. He's going to rip the slant again down here. Again, a better route, not my favorite route. I wouldn't classify this as a win either. I don't know what their read is. This certainly looks like one where you would want to throw it to the back. Again, could this ball be caught? Maybe. Again, we got to make it easier on these slants. You can't go 0 for 4 golden sombrero with slants on the day. And so, again, what the read is here, the first thing here I would say is, if we're going to classify this for the case of this video as a PSO, so pass, screen, option, a picture look, so the premium look for this slant is off coverage where the font of the pen is the correct font, maybe a little bit thicker. There you go. So off coverage, and then a safety in the middle of the field. So press here with a, we'll call it quarters-ish safety, to me is not a premium look. So maybe you look over here, and if he gaps them on the go fake of it, you'll have some space here. Maybe because the backer is in the A gap to that side, you think, oh, I'm going to have a big window. Okay, let's check it. But once he gets jacked and once this guy hangs here, to me, that's a pretty good look to throw the screen. And again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I know how the Browns are running this play, but you don't have to be a genius to look up top and be like, that looks good, coach. And again, not guard school, but come on, dog, help us out. Help me help you. One step, throw. Look when he's throwing this. Anticipation, yes, but should we be throwing that? Whew. Okay, I guess. Not okay for me, okay for him. It sure looked like he put his wide receiver in a little bit of harm's way there. So better ball, better blocking at the right guard position, better decision. Yikes. Next one here. We also ran this play before. Last time we threw it to the pivot tight end up top with a little pressure. This time he tries to get it to the wrap in. Now this is what I would classify as a turnover worthy-ish throw, interceptable for my guys. Not a great route. I would say we're hanging on this guy a little bit too long. So what's going on here? Draw it up again for the people in the back. Here's what I would call a little pivot gather. Here's that little wrap in. Okay, now the thing to pay attention to with this wrap in is I think of this as a zone-centric play. It can work versus man coverage for sure. You got runaway potentially. But what you don't want to do is this route at the top. This cannot drift up the field. You just cannot. Because it allows the DB type to come up and undercut it. So even if it was a good throw, let's pretend first of all that it's the best route ever. So he comes across here and he carves this thing downhill a little bit. Even if that's the case, the throw is still behind us. It's not a good throw. It's not a good route. Okay, where should the ball go? Probably to the backside here on this little looper return. So 1, 2, 3, kind of a unique way to get to triangle type reads, but this is forcing the ball, hanging onto the ball, not being a good throw, and the route itself, is not there. See him drift up the field here? That's why it allows the DB to undercut it, and the throw's behind us. So we don't like the tight end. We don't like the in. I don't love the looper return right here either. So maybe you just flip it to the back. But what you can't do is just say, whatever. Travis Henry is down there somewhere. Travis Hunter, I should say. Yo, that ain't it. That's dangerous and really should be an interception. So getting through the read, getting through it consistently. It's a nice job hanging in the pocket. It's just, you got to throw that ball out in front and we got to run flat. That route is bad. The ball is bad. Next one here, 3rd and forever, kind of deep hankish here. Used to call this ocean or deep hooks. Again, not the look you want back here. Double twirly birds, run around and take an Elvis Gerbach sack. Not for me. In fact, I would I would lose my shit if a quarterback ran out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage on a 3rd down where you could easily throw it away. Okay, not going to get into the completion cop percentage thing right now, but bounce around. There's nothing there. I don't know. Maybe you have something nice to say. He didn't get sacked in the pocket. The thing I would say here on this play, so to me here, kind of just big brother to Hank, deep sit over the ball, deep curl. You usually read this thing 1 to wherever it gets squeezed, 2 to the check down, 3. Okay, so, pick a check down. Either ball gets a check down. 3rd and forever, I think the ball should probably go to one of the check downs quicker. Again, I'm not the one in the pocket telling you exactly what I'm looking at, but over the ball, 1 hitch, curl, 1 hitch, check down. Maybe he doesn't even have time to get to the check down. So if he doesn't have time to get to the check down, get out of there, throw the check down right there. We start going double reverse fields. Not a world you want to live in very often. And then the ball was on the 33 and a half. We run out of bounds at the 33, before the 33, 32 and a half. That's a sack. I'm flipping the out if I'm coaching offensive line, giving up sacks because the quarterback just ran back and forth across the field to not throw the ball away. From the end zone, again, not going to get into every single pass protection, but right guard's got to be able to handle more than this. We can't give a 1 pump chump here and just let our guy run around. Dude's wearing sleeves over there. 2 spins. My goodness. This part right here at the end, I don't understand not throwing the ball away there. I just don't understand it. It does not make sense. All right, next pass play here, another screen. This time the execution from the back is probably a little bit too fast. Again, we're not in their installs, so I can't tell you, hey, this is supposed to be a 2-count screen, 3-count screen, 2.5, whatever, but the back is out faster than the offensive lineman. So see the offensive lineman lagging behind him. If the back were to go at the same time as the offensive line, so see the back go first, now the offensive line goes, you'd have better protection out there. I'm not sure it's going to matter if 42 is going to come up and make a TFL there, but none of that is necessarily on Shedeur Sanders. That's more on the offensive unit execution. But we got to be honest about where these completions are coming from too. Next one here, empty 3x2. This looks like Haas wide juke. You catch closed match. Not a lot of great options here. This ends up being a hell of a catch from 37. A very nice play from Shedeur Sanders too. 37's got some hands on him. You got a nasty number. We're making some plays out there. Now, this is one of those things where if you watched every snap of Shedeur Sanders this past year at college, you would know has a tendency to retreat backwards. Now, I'm not saying there's a lot of space in that pocket right here because there's not, But we've got to be quicker to say no to the seam, yes to the juke. No to the seam, yes to the hitch. We're not going to be able to come out here and make crazy circus catches for our quarterback all the time. So again, Haas wide juke. I know a lot of people teach this a lot of different ways. The Haas, so Haas wide juke. Okay, the Haas, or the H, is the hitch. So hitch is on the outside. The SS is the seams. So seams by the number 2. And then the juke part of this thing is right over the ball. So versus zone, he'll just sit there. Versus man, he can usually run away and go either way. I know some teams teach it where we're reading the seam to the juke on the same side. Some teams have a pick 'em. Some teams have a lot of freedom, matchup. There's lots of different ways to read this. I would say, you catch middle field closed with what I'm going to say here on these seams is match coverage or bones of man elements here of these guys running with them. That's the worst case scenario. So you probably want to get this thing down to this as fast as possible. So as soon as you see these guys run or match with these guys, it's not a good play. Get it down here. Get it down here. Get it down here. Again, the outcome might be good. It might be a big chunk play. But how we got there, to me, again, is what's going to be critiqued by the coaches. So to me here, loosey with our footwork. We're drifting backwards. It would be pick a seam, juke. And again, I'm not saying it's wide ass open, but you could whatever you're reading second here, they're all open. Throw it. Instead, we go create. Now it's a nice play, and we hook it up, and the guy makes a hell of a catch for us. But I'm not sure we want to live in a world where we're asking somebody numbered 37 to go make a bunch of creative, explosive plays on, scramble, extend the play type plays. Next one here, touchdown pass. Pretty impressive throw here down here to the bottom on the little switch in. So this looks like all stick up top. I love the fact that he can reset his feet and drive the ball down the field. He made 2 very nice reset your feet, drive in throws. So no, back across, yes. Now the other thing here, you've got to know your pass protection and trust it. So it looks like he thinks he's about to get hit here from 49. And maybe 39 could be a little faster on coming back across to take that hit off. But I love how he resets his feet. He doesn't just bail. He's not out of there. That's a nice trait to have. So to me here, we start in 1x3 loose bunch, get to 2x2 a little condensed. To me, this is all stick up top. So quick out, stick, and then they run a little switch release. So up, then number 1 goes in. He's probably running to the back pylon, up and running that in. So, if this is your 4th read, it's also super impressive. Now, if he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, now in reality, he probably just sees this guy blitzing, kind of panics, but resets his feet and has the capacity to drive the ball down the field. So from that standpoint, pretty impressive. He made a couple nice kind of like, this is like semi out of structure because he's got to move that pocket movement to like reset, same one on that in coming out of his own end zone and drive the ball down the field. You could even make an argument that you would love that route to be a little tighter at the top. Now, maybe it's supposed to be a post. If it's supposed to be a post, don't love the play quite as much, to be honest with you, but the in a little flatter, make that throw even easier. But this is a really nice job from Shedeur Sanders. He had a couple nice drive throws, I think made even better because he reset, moved, violent movement, reset your feet, drive it down the field. Pretty sweet. Next one here, this is a quick out. I'm going to call it a quick out to the bottom. It's kind of a tweener out, but the throw's a little bit behind us. It stops a little bit. I personally, if you watch the channel long enough, that I hate quick outs, just don't understand it. I would also probably say this is a grip it and rip it type throw. Is that my guy, the podcaster, hyping up? He doesn't only coach special teams. He hypes up the corner. I like it. If you don't like the quick out, you probably have to work the spacing. Not the greatest play in my opinion on many different levels. So quick out here. Don't like it over the ball. Don't like it again. You've probably got the hitch from the number 3 over the ball. Maybe quick out up top too. You're not going to go quick out to quick out, but you're going to go 1, 2, 3, or vice versa. But probably start over here. Again, I just think the throw is not good enough. I would say, I personally don't love to find the laces on quick outs. Just catch it, grip it, rip it. The ball's behind us. The route looks like it's being run from someone who might not be the fastest wide receiver in the world. The ball's behind us. Just not good enough. And again, if you were to work the spacing, so let's say we didn't like the quick out at the bottom. Do we like to sit over the ball? No. Do we like the pivot hitch? Yes. So you can see where the ball would go if you came left to right across the board. You could also just throw it to the check down. Just getting it to the check down is one of those things where you just, especially in the preseason, just alleviates so much pressure. Get the ball out of your hand. Don't force it. Next one here, third and medium, longish. This is a tough rep for a few different reasons. One, you don't want to take a sack like this when you're out of the pocket. I don't understand why we keep doing this. This is the type of shit that would drive me crazy. But Sanders pops up here, and it looks like he's pretty pissed at the wide receiver, 31, about what he's supposed to do right there. Now, my thing about it is we got Ejiro here dialing up blitzes from the heavens. So we're way back here. He's unblocked. So, most offenses would refer to this as a sight adjust. This is a 6-person pass pro. It looks like they're going this way. The back is getting eaten up with the will here. So this guy is a free runner. So what are we going to do? How do you handle that as an offense? Well, if this is just a fade or a go, that's always a good option. One-on-one, bump, you got to throw it. Now, do we want to throw routes to this guy? I don't know. Looks like he's probably going to be working in the financial, sector soon. But this is, one of those things where even if it looks like you don't have the answers to the test. So we're hot at a minimum, or we've got a sight at the bottom. He doesn't even look that way. Now he feels it and kind of drifts. But what does he expect to do? He expects to throw it to this guy breaking in down here. It looks like he thinks this is like a practice rep, like he's not going to get hit here. This dude is closing. That's a DB. Boom! On the ground. Come on, dog. You got to protect yourself. And then you can't pop up and be like, what are you doing? You got to throw it away. What are you doing? What are you doing? So again, 36 from the heavens on the right side. The back is eaten up by 57. I mean, it looks like he's about to go throw it there. And I'm guessing that he expects this guy to keep running across the bottom. But you can't get hit like this. This looks like he doesn't think he's going to get hit. What? That's not even a hit. That's just a push down. That's like a bench press. Damn. All right, next one here. Another rough one. Really double rough. We've run this play now, I think, the third time. This is that little wrap in up top with the pivot down here to the bottom. I would argue that it's there. I would argue that the scramble throw is also there. We can't be getting out of the pocket and throwing sinkers like this to wide open guys on the boundary. So for whatever reason, he doesn't throw it. I think he's probably playing with his eyes down a little bit. And I understand why with, what's happening, in his past and in the interior of this offensive line. But if you don't like it, we've got to be able to get out there and make a better throw than that regardless. So the first thing here is let's just talk through this play. Because now this is the third time we've run this play. So I'm getting tired of talking about it. But this little wrap in here, whatever you want to call this, mini hammer, whatever. Really the only play that this is not good against or defense is quarters. So what is this safety doing? Is he a quarters type player at like 10-ish yards? Then I get real nervous about throwing that wrap in. This to me is a more half field player. He's got more depth. So to me, this is alive. So we're just going to watch whatever this linebacker does. Okay, does he get any sort of width? Does he come downhill on the pivot? If yes, we're throwing it right there. This is, to me, open. And this is one of those ones, this preseason open, man. We got to be able to throw this wrap in on time, on rhythm. Hitch throw. Just watch this guy right here. He's moving before we even get out there. He's matching to him. That is a big lane in the NFL. We have to be able to throw that ball. Then if we don't like it, we come down here to the slot. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Eyes down. No. Tight end wide open out there. Just flip it out there to him. Got to make these easy throws out of structure work. We can't make only the hard, crazy, difficult one-handed catches. No. Again, must throw this. Must. To me, it looks like he's playing with his eyes down, not trusting what he's seen. And then again, can't throw sinkers out there. Next one here, this looks like double stick down here to the bottom with dragging up top again. Middle field open, quarter, half, work the double stick. I think you could make the argument that you could throw it to the number 2 on the quick out versus the stick, but 6-1, half dozen to the other. Who really cares? It's a completion. So, you play this however you want, whether you view this as, brackets-ish or quarters-ish, what's better, the number 2 down here to the bottom or the number 3? It's easy afterwards to say it's the number 2, but I don't think it really that matters that much. Ball's out quick. He's decisive. We get a completion. Okay. Again, it's 3rd and forever. You have no chance on this play to get a first down on 3rd and what, 20-ish, 15-ish, 15 plus. Just get a completion, punt, get the hell out of there. Ball out, away from the near defender. Great. Last couple ones here. This is a really nice job getting to the tight end on the little crosser, play action, post, cross, in. Nice job from Shedeur stepping up. Again, preseason open. Okay, it's just the reality of it. Doesn't mean it's not a nice play. It is a nice play from Sanders. Be able to show the show under center, play fake, get up in the pocket, trust the offensive line, hang in there, drive the ball down the field. It's just a really nice job. And again, you're going to see this type of play at every level of football. You're going to see it all over the place in the league. So we've got post. Here comes that cross. Usually paired with an in on the backside. And once it's middle field closed, we're going to get off this post. So whichever one of these guys gets to the middle of the field, it closes this post off. So now we're kind of 1 to 2. And again, really it comes down to what do these second level linebackers do? Do they get depth and take away those throws? If yes, you just come right down and throw it to the back. But if they hang it all and come down on the back, there's going to be huge windows right here. So take advantage of some poor linebacker play. They close it up, no post, get to the over, there across, there it is. Throw it right on them. Don't airball layups, and we're good to go. You can really watch 57 come downhill on the play fake and match to the back. That creates that window right behind him. And we're able to get a nice chunk, start feeling good about this game. Last one here. This is one of my favorite reps for just the process part for Shedeur here. It looks like he goes full field, left to right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the check down. Now, is it a perfect throw? No. But his back does a nice job making a play for him. So watch that helmet stripe start to our right. No. Back across. No. All the way to the check down. And again, a better ball maybe finds the end zone here. But this is a nice job of him being able to say no to his left. Again, this is not easy to do. No down here to the bottom to whatever this is supposed to be. It's a no for me too. Whatever it's supposed to be up top, it's a no for me too. Nice job getting to the back, just like that quick. So he goes full field off 3 shuffle, kind of 1 extra step. A better ball, and that's a perfect rep. But regardless, you got to appreciate the capacity to process, get the ball out of his hands, do these types of things that we've seen him do at a high level for a long time. So that is a wrap. Shedeur Sanders, week 1, the start. I thought it was all right. I didn't have any expectations for it. I thought there were some really impressive throws. I liked both the touchdown throws. I don't know if I'd want to live in the world where I was making that first touchdown throw very often, but I thought he had some nice drive throws down the field. Whether it was the 2 big ends, one of them was a touchdown, the other one kind of backed up in his own end zone. I thought there were some nice throws where he had to kind of get the ball out of his hand quickly because we had some issues in pass pro. Welcome to the preseason. Yeah, it's going to happen. There were also some reps that I thought were really, really not great. There were some bad sacks. There were some bad kind of working backwards. There were some issues with maybe what he was feeling or where his eyes were in the pocket. But for a rookie, making a start, a late round pick, it's fine. It's fine. It's not disqualifying. We're not getting cut off that film. We're not doing cartwheels either. There were some nice plays. There's certainly things to build on, but the overreaction's got to stop. Just look at the damn film. Some nice things, some not nice things, some things you have to clean up. We can't be running out of bounds on third down behind the line of scrimmage. We can't be twirling around doing crazy backwards things, going backwards on fourth down. We just can't. We've got to have a plan when they bring one extra guy than we have blocking. All that being said, we'll see what it looks like next week. Thanks so much for hanging to the end. See you next time.